The Institute is no more. For a time, the Commonwealth knew a fragile peace maintained by the Minutemen and their uneasy allies, the Brotherhood of Steel. But word of the Institute's fall spread across the Wasteland, and as it did, darker forces began to stir. In the power vacuum that followed, and with the allure of recovering advanced Institute technology, a familiar shadow returned. The Enclave had arrived. Unbeknownst to them, the Enclave had established a forward operating base within the ruins of the Atlantic offices. Strange radio frequencies and distant gunfire soon alerted the Brotherhood recon teams, quietly testing the region's defences. Tensions quickly escalated when the Brotherhood's glowing sea communications tower was attacked and seized by Enclave forces. Unwilling to commit men and precious vertebrates to retake it, Elder Maxon ordered a strategic withdrawal. Soon after, a crisis meeting was called on Spectacle Island. There, Brotherhood and Minutemen leadership came together and formed a plan. The Brotherhood would patrol edges of the glowing sea, containing the threat as best they could. Meanwhile, the Minutemen would develop a new kind of response force, one that could take the fight directly to the Enclave without risking massive casualties. Minutemen Command knew that entering the glowing sea meant almost certain death, from radiation, mutated creatures, and the Enclave's superior firepower, so they turned to science. Ex-Institute scientist, Minutemen sympathizer, and synth, Dr. Mia Shaw, was tasked with developing a new generation of autonomous weapons. Kingsport Lighthouse, then a small coastal settlement, was commandeered as a research and manufacturing base. With Brotherhood assistance, facilities were hastily built, and vertibirds ferried machinery and materials from a nearby cannery to support the effort. And there, Dr. Shaw began her work in secret. She collected and dismantled various Commonwealth robots, Protectrons, Assaultrons, and most importantly, first and second generation synths, salvaged from Bunker Hill. Using their advanced AI cores and neural architecture, she integrated the best components of synth and machine alike, creating a new kind of robot. The Sentinel. Each Sentinel was heavily encrypted, designed to resist Enclave hacking, and capable of operating in the glowing sea's extreme environment. They could function autonomously or under direct Minuteman control from mobile command vans. To outside observers, including the Brotherhood, they appeared to be purely mechanical creations. The synth technology within them was kept secret, known only to Dr. Shaw and a handful of trusted Minutemen engineers. Meanwhile, Sturgis was brought in to solve another problem: power. Pre-war fusion cores were scarce and difficult to reproduce. Working with old schematics and what he called a little creative engineering, Sturgis designed a rechargeable fusion core. To support the process, a custom fusion reactor was installed in the factory. It acted as a recharge station and augmented by a lightning-powered dynamo mounted atop the lighthouse itself. Within months, the first wave of Sentinels was completed and transported, destined for the glowing sea. While the Brotherhood repelled Enclave incursions, the Minutemen prepared their counterstrike. And when the order came, the Sentinels advanced into the glowing sea. The Enclave were caught by surprise and their base fell swiftly. The remaining forces were driven back into the mountains. The Sentinels remained behind, autonomously patrolling the irradiated wastes and ensuring the Enclave would not return. Peace once again settled over the Commonwealth, but Elder Maxon saw a danger on the horizon. The Minutemen's growing technological power troubled him. The Brotherhood commanded the skies, but with the Sentinels, the Minutemen now commanded the ground, something that Maxon would not accept. Well, hello. Hope you enjoyed that little cinematic of the history of this settlement. I think it's time to get down on the ground level and go for a little tour. Well, here we are at the main entrance. It is fairly fortified. We've got the big fence with corrugated iron. We have a very big gate to let vehicles in and out, but then a smaller door for the foot traffic. But let's go through this door and see the forecourt of the settlement. And here we are, we have the truck transporting the Sentinels, getting loaded up there. And we have the main manufacturing warehouse in front of us. We've got some residential buildings above the warehouse. We have the Kingsport residence here, which is R&D and also the fusion core manufacturing. We have some more houses over here, so I think this is going to be the first port of call. But let's just check out our command van here. So this is to control the Sentinels when they are not running on autonomous mode. So we've got the consoles inside and then just some seating there so the Minutemen can be comfortable, and then just like a dish array on the top and an aerial to control the Sentinels. Alright, let's go check out this first house. This one is a little bit interesting. It's got the main residence here and then a smaller bedroom over here. Let's just check that one out now. Okay, and then this one, just shut the door. So kitchen at the end there, and if I spin around, cozy looking lounge, and then above is a loft style bedroom with plenty of books. Alright, let's check out the next house. Okay, just make our way over this side. And it's very clear as soon as you get in here that this one is, whoever stays here are probably the nerds of the settlement. We've got the figurines, we've got the posters, the lighting, we've got the comic books, we even have fish tanks, pinball machines, and just other bits and bobs. This is probably my favorite residence, probably because the colors and all the details. It's just a fun little house. Alrighty, next one. Spin around over here. This is an interesting layout, I think. So we've got the lounge and then the bedroom at the end, and then we have a kitchen on this side. And then if we go through the doors at the end here, we've got another little room at the very end. And we do have stair access, so you don't have to go through the house. Here's our Sentinels. Alright, let's go check out the main Kingsport residence. So we have this closed off area. This door is meant to be closed. And this is the fusion core manufacturing. So the first machine when you come through is you would place your scrap metal and it would sort of pump out these kind of casings and you would collect them over here. The next station is where the fission material is placed inside the casing. So we've got this machine with the fission material in that sort of capsule at the top. And this thing would kind of inject it into the case that's enclosed inside that glass container there. It would then move on to the sealing station where they use some kind of cryogenic process to seal it up and make sure that the fission material is all secure and not leaking radiation. I don't know how exactly it works, but it kind of looks cool to me, so that's why I did it. And then finally, the finished casings are collected over here. So they do have the material inside of it. It's just not activated yet. That needs to go to the fusion reactor to get quote-unquote charged. Okay, let's go upstairs and see what's happening there. Alright, here we are at the second level, and this is where Mia Shaw and her team, I guess, dismantled the synths and the other robots and created the first Sentinel. So this is the R&D space, and lots of technical stuff is going on in here. So that's the main Kingsport Lighthouse residence. Let's go to the main manufacturing warehouse. I better close this door as well. Keep those guys secure. Oh, and this is the kind of a little ramp so that the casings can be taken out here to the warehouse over here. But currently the loading dock is taken up by our truck. But we do have another door through here. And let's start maybe at the end, because we have kind of like a scrap robot collection area over here. If I just close this door, you can see we've got a bunch of scrap robots. And this dude is just dismantling, and the dismantled robots get collected over here. This first person's doing the same thing. So you can see we've got Sentinel bits getting collected, and we can't forget our synth as well. So these synths are getting dismantled, and we got more stuff happening over here. So our actual manufacturing of the Sentinels are basically in 4 stages. We have the initial stage where the body is connected with our kind of synth core, and the AI is kind of put inside the synth components. And the next stage is the appendages are connected, so legs and things. Our third stage is the actual coding of the AI inside the Sentinels, as well as the extra shielding, and the guns get put on the front as well. And finally, the fourth stage is basically just a QC stage, making sure that it's all working the way it should. We have a little collection of robots over here. So these ones are currently deactivated. They have the cores taken out of them. Basically, they won't get cores until they're actually kind of set loose in the Commonwealth. And those are getting loaded up into our truck. And you can see here, we've got a box of cores all charged up, ready to go to be placed into our Sentinels. Speaking of the cores, let's go over to our charging station and see what's going on over there. Okay, so this gentleman is placing the uncharged cores into the machine that's connected to our fusion reactor and getting them charged up. So I'm saying recharging, but it's not really like recharging a normal battery. It's more like a plasma battery. So inside you've got your super dense plasma that's sort of contained within a magnetic field inside the capsule, and obviously over time the plasma cools down, loses stability, and the core's output kind of drops, kind of like a dying star, I guess. And then the idea is you would sort of plug it back into the fusion reactor. The fusion reactor would give it a boost of energy, kind of re-energizing that plasma inside, and kind of restarting the star inside the core itself and getting it back to sort of 100% output, I guess. That's kind of how I envisioned it. I'm not a physicist, so let me know in the comments if you think I'm way off base on that. But that is our recharge station. So that's the main manufacturing warehouse. Let's go to the top and see what's happening up there. So up these stairs and into kind of a residential area. So these are all houses. Another house over here. This one is actually connected up to a radio tower, and this is where basically a communication shack. So the person here will be able to communicate with the wider Minutemen force. And I think there's a little mixing desk over here, and then above is his abode. Just some simple facilities up here. Okay, heading on back, we've got some gardening happening over here. So in the downtime, folks can come up here and just chill out with the plants. We've got some facilities over here. Now this is some cooling towers for the capacitor. So there is a capacitor at the end. It is hooked up to an umbilical cord that goes all the way up to our lightning powered dynamo on the lighthouse itself. And this is basically kind of doing the same thing that the reactor does to our cores. This does to our reactor. So when the fusion reactor is sort of losing some juice, this thing is basically boosting it, making sure that the power is consistent. I'm no electrician or anything, but I just have some cooling stuff hooked up to our capacitor just in case. Okay, if we spin around, we've got another house here. Fairly simple. It's got its own bathroom here. A lot of the houses do have bathrooms, but some of them don't have bathrooms. Okay, on to the next house. This is the technician for our power armor, and you can see he cannot separate work life and home life. He's building or fixing up his own power armor. Okay, so that is basically the top level of our warehouse. Let's go down and check out the waterfront. Oh, actually no, we'll go check out the lighthouse. Okay, we're at the ground level of the lighthouse, and down here is where we control the dynamo on the top. So just making sure that there's no power surges or anything like that. Keeping an eye on everything. This person's chilling out. And we do have another umbilical going all the way to the top to connect the dynamo to our controls down here. Let's get to the top and see what's happening there. Just admiring the good views up here. Okay, so our dynamo is up here, and we have all the electronic equipment going down and our connection to the umbilical over here. And just to give you a better view, we've got our lightning rod and our dynamo spinning away and feeding our umbilical down to the capacitor. Very nice. Alright, let's get down there and see what's happening on the waterfront. Alrighty, so this house over here, this is one of the guards in our settlement, and they really like guns, as you can see. And they also like to sit on their balcony overlooking the beach and take pot shots at Mirelurks. Alrighty, let's check out this house over here. Fairly straightforward, great views, and this one has a bathroom over here as well. Okay, on to the next one. This is our guard tower, so you'd access it through the ladder system going up here. And then this is our catwalk over to the rooftop of the other building. We also have a container at the back of the house that holds the fission material. And I sort of blocked it off so that nobody can get close to it because, you know, radiation and all that jazz. And if we spin around, we have another house over here with epic amounts of light coming through. Nice. Alright. Let's make our way down. So this first little building is a shack that has, it is basically like a shared bathroom. So there's the toilet, the sink, and the bath shower. So anyone that doesn't have a bathroom in their own house, they can just use this one. But let's check out this house over here. And come through to their balcony, and they have a telescope to look at my crane. So in this house is where some of the scientists live, and of course they got a little spot over here to take care of human subjects instead of robots, and this is where they will hang out. And at the very end here is their kitchen looking over the waterfront. Okay, let's go check out the houses at the other end before we get to the main docks. So let's go to this one up here. So it's got a bathroom too, and a little porch. Great views in the settlement, I must say. And then this one has another loft style bedroom. And then the house down below. And again, another porch on the waterfront. Okay, so we're on the docks now, and this is the barge that's carrying materials to the settlement to be used in its construction or whatever is happening. And this guy's just making sure he's got the right inventory, and we have a crane here that services the barge as well as that building there, and I'll show you inside in a second. We have a second crane next to the house so that the goods coming from the docks here can be lifted up to that main level up there. They don't have to be hauled up those stairs. Okay, let's get up here. This first building is for power armor, so engineering space. making sure everything is hunky-dory and the suit to 100%. And then the building in the back is kind of like a staging area, so we have power armor ready to go, so people can just get inside them and get on the barge. We have a bunch of charged cores and of course a couple of sentinels ready to go. And the barge would sort of come up to the spot here, and the crane would hoist the goods and robots and power armor and all that sort of stuff onto the barge below, and then it will be shipped around the coast. So I hope you enjoyed this cinematic history and tour of the Kingsport Lighthouse settlement build. Now regarding the Sentinels, unfortunately they are made in-game. They are not rigged or animated, I don't have the skills for that, and they aren't made in the creation kit either. But they are functional as static turrets, of course, and what I might do in the next few days is produce a short tutorial video so you can build the Sentinels for your own settlements. So because I've made 30 of them, I'm pretty proficient and I have a workflow down, so I'm fairly confident that you'll be able to produce your own Sentinels as well. Well, that's enough jabbering from me. If you did enjoy this video, please drop us a like, and if you're feeling extra generous, a subscription as well. There's a link on the main channel page for the Discord. Hope to see you on the next video, and have an awesome day.